What's up, everybody? Getting into this episode of Beyond the Gates. I am so glad that Ted is stepping up to the plate, getting to know Eva and celebrate her birthday with her. But I'm still going to need him to run his own independent DNA test to be sure that that's his daughter, like to be 1,000% sure. I'm just saying, just to give me peace of mind, just to give everybody a peace of mind, run your own damn DNA test. I'm just saying. You can't believe the one that Leslie had ran or whatever. You can't believe that. But I'm glad that they're getting to know each other. He's seeing her as his daughter, trying to connect with her. And I love that she is remorseful for the things that she did. And she wants a fresh start. And I love the accountability that she's taking. She knows she did wrong. She's owning her shit. She's owning the part that she played in all of this, which is good because some people don't. Some people don't own up to it. Some people like Leslie, they make excuses. They blame others. So I'm glad that they're getting to know each other. And he's seeing her as a daughter. Good for him. Step up to the plate. Because that's what she need right now. She need a father. A dependable parent that's actually going to be there for her and not use her, not manipulate her. So I'm glad that she getting out of, Leslie's orbit, hopefully. And Ted need to stop going to see Leslie. Like, I'm just saying, stop going to see her. Because she a crazy witch. Stop going to see that nut. Because you just setting yourself up every time you go see her. You feeding that delusional mess that she got in her head that y'all gonna be together. You feeding into it. Every time you go to visit her unannounced, you're feeding that BS. Stop doing that. So anyway, moving on from that. I love the little cat and mouse game that Leslie and Jacob was playing at the police station. I love that shit. Because she was panicky a little bit when he played that recording. Because she was like, oh, that bitch recorded me? Yes, Leslie, she was a step ahead of your ass this time. She got you on tape. But she played it off. She was like, okay. She said, I was just messing with little Kit Kat. She played that shit off, though. She panicked for a little second, but she played it. Because at the end of the day, the police don't got proof. They have no physical evidence that ties Eva to the crime, that ties Leslie to the crime. They have nothing. But I do like the fact, though, that Leslie, even though she pretty much has Eva on her shit list, she didn't throw her under the bus with Jacob. Like, she could have easily was like, oh, yeah, my daughter did it. She ran that girl off the road. She could have easily said that. But she did. She said Eva didn't do it. Eva's not a murderer. She's not capable. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, okay, Leslie, you got a little shred of decency to you. A little shred. I mean, very little. You got a little crumb. You got a crumb of shred. You got a little crumb of decency. And I mean a little ass piece of decency to you. To not throw that girl under the bus to the police. Good for you. But she couldn't answer the question, though. Because, Jacob was like, where the hell was you at? She was like, oh, I was at Orphy Jean's having lunch or whatever with Mona and Jan. Like, he said, okay, that accounts for the afternoon. Where the fuck was you at night? She was like, I might have been at work. I don't know. Work? What work? Baby, you ain't got no job. What work was you at? And it's so funny because she don't even know where she was talking about something. I don't know. I could have been at work. What you mean you could have been at work? Don't you got a schedule? Wouldn't you have a schedule and know what days you work? I'm just saying. So Jacob was like, okay, well, I'll check with your employer. Oh, am I going to need a lawyer? Yeah, you are. He said, I would advise it. Basically, you got a right to get you one. But you're not arrested for nothing. I love the little back and forth between them. And she shamefully tried to flirt with that man. She was like, oh, if I was just a few years younger. Baby, he don't want you. I mean, you look good, but he don't want you. You're crazy. You ain't wrapped too tight. I wouldn't want you either. If I was drunk, I might slip up. Because she do look good. I ain't gonna lie. I can see why Ted messed with her. I can see why. She got a body. I'm just saying. Underneath that little shaft coat, she got a body. And where's she going with this little snake skin coat? Like, baby, where did you go? Leslie tickled the shit out of me. I love her. She is nuts. Like, that's the type of villain I like. Just keep me laughing. Like, she do some sadistic shit, but she keep me laughing, man. So moving on from that, Diego. Sir, get your life. Get your life. This man really came up into Uptown, talking about, oh, I'm meeting a woman here who actually want to be seen with me. I'm like, sir, Sir, get out your feelings. Like you bitching over a married lady. Of course she can't be seen with you. She's a married woman, fool. So Pamela come up in there, he start tonguing her down. I'm like, hey, when y'all get friendly? Um, trying to make Vanessa jealous and shit. And he even told Pam, he said, I'm sorry about that, but I was trying to make this woman jealous. Vanessa was like, you do realize her ass is very married, right? And of course, Pamela want him to be a model. And Diego was looking at her like, what? Like, Pamela and Danny are recruiting everybody they see. From the casino to Uptown. They trying to recruit. They not playing about this talent agency. They are not playing. Um, Joey, he all up over here trying to flirt with Vanessa and stuff, dropping little innuendos. Joey don't be playing. Like, he really trying to get up in them drawers. That man is not playing. I said, go ahead, Joe. Go ahead, old school Joey. That's an OG right there. He trying to get that. He stopping at nothing to get it. And I got a feeling he gonna get that kitty. He gonna get it one day. Cause I feel like he wearing her down. She knows she wanna do it. She wanna do it. Um, but I ain't gonna hold you. I love the conversation between her and Doug because I'm glad they finally had this conversation. And I'm glad Vanessa finally said it out loud. Even Doug was happy she finally admitted to it. Like, she finally openly admitted that she mess around with other men. He was like, damn, I've been waiting for you to publicly say it. He said, I've been waiting for you to finally say it out your mouth. I want to hear the words. Like, he's been known. He's been known about that shit. He been knew. And she know he know. And she probably felt like he knew for quite some time. They just been not trying to say it. Saying it without saying it. And she felt relief when she finally said it out loud. And she felt like, now all their cards are out on the table. I said, no, baby, not all of them. Trust, they are not out on the table. And this is the stuff that pissed me off with Doug because this was his moment to put his cards on the table. Literally. You know what I'm saying? Like, just put it all out there. Like, she admitted, to what she do. And she even said, I don't want a divorce, and I know you don't want one. She said, we still come home to each other at the end of the day, but there's something broken in their marriage. She keep thinking that he messing around too. And he was like, hell no, I ain't. But she was like, I know it's something. That was his moment to put it out there. Like, yeah, I've been gambling. I owe Joey a lot of money. Because at the end of the day, she just said she not divorcing your ass. So had he just opened up to her, she probably would have been shocked and angry. But with the money that she made and the money that she comes from, she could have easily just wrote Joey a check and bought his ass off. And your debt would have been wiped. Y'all could be free and clear of his ass. You know what I'm saying? You wouldn't owe him anything anymore. But yet you want to keep this lie going. Like, Doug is stupid. That was your moment. Once she dropped that card down on you, you should have dropped another one. A bigger one. That was your chance to open up to her and let her know what's going on. You know what I'm saying? Like, just dumb. Like, Doug, y'all gonna stay in some mess because you just don't want to be honest about shit, which is stupid to me. That marriage is a hot mess. I like their marriage for some odd ass reason. Like, it's a hot mess, and I like it. It's just so messy. Moving on from that, I love me some Danny and Andre. I do. Their chemistry is so fire. Like, so fire. And a part of me, you know what? I get both sides. I get where both of them are coming from as far as, like, this situation that they're in. I get where Danny coming from. Danny was in a 30-year marriage. You know what I'm saying? She had a 30-year marriage that just ended recently. She's not ready to be with somebody exclusively again. Like, she's not ready to put her heart into another dude. You know what I'm saying? Like she did Bill. And I hate that she has to compare other men to Bill and what he did to her. I hate that, but I get it. She's not healed. You know what I'm saying? She's not over that fully. Not enough to be, booed up with somebody new. So I can't be mad at her for that. And I love that Andre listened to what she said and he respected it. And he was like, all right, cool. We can still do what we do. But I get where he coming from too. He don't like to be a kept secret. He want to be out and proud, out and loud, out loud and proud. That's what he want to be. He want to be seen with her. You know what I'm saying? He don't want to feel like some kept secret. And I can't fault him for that either. But I'm glad that they both heard each other. They heard what each other had to say. They understood what each other was saying. And they gonna keep it the way it is for right now. And that's all she could ask. Is just give her some time. I can't be mad at that. That to me, that was an adult conversation. No yelling, no name calling, no attitude. It was just straight adult conversation. You know what I'm saying? Two people, putting it out there, what they want, what their expectations are, and what they're comfortable with right now. I respect that. I respect that because not too many people have those conversations. Because when you try to be real with somebody, they get mad, they get an attitude, they, just go off. So I respect that. And I get why she don't want to tell Nicole, because she feel like, oh, that'd be another lie. But Nicole already suspected something was going on. So all she had to do was just tell Nicole. I don't really think Nicole would have cared, to be quite honest. Like, why would she? You know what I'm saying? Like, if you explain things to her, I don't see why Nicole would give a shit, to be honest. Moving on from that, Dererick and Ashley. I really hope this is the end of their relationship. I hope so. I hope so. Because Ashley was getting on my damn nerves when she came up in there, ranting and raving about the fridge, ranting and raving about him throwing her food away. I'm just like, everything he does just annoys her. And I'm glad they had that conversation because Dererick, he saw the BS. Dererick was like, you don't want to move in. He said, you don't want me here. He was like, you don't want to move into the bigger place. He started seeing the writing on the wall. He started seeing that she wasn't with all of that. And I'm glad she was honest about it. I'm glad that she, kind of put it out there like, this is my place. And she kept saying that, like, my place, my this, my that, my that. It was never our. So it's like, why not just be honest about it? Because her and Dererick are not on the same, they're not on the same page. They're not even reading from the same book when it comes to their relationship. Like, he wants marriage, he wants kids. She don't want none of that right now, and she probably don't want that with him. So I'm glad he saw the writing on the wall, and I'm glad he took his luggage out. Cause I'm like, sir, you might as well pack it up and go. Pack it up and go. They might as well end the foolishness. That relationship is not, it ain't long term. When she went to Uptown crying and Andre walked in, I just rolled my eyes because I'm like, please don't keep putting Andre in her orbit. I do not want Andre and Ashley to end up together at all because I really don't see the chemistry between them. Like, I don't see how that will work. I really don't. Moving on from that, Tomas and Cat. A part of me feel like Tomas and Cat need to call it quits too, because I'm glad that they're getting to know each other better. Like, she was asking him about his tattoos and all that type of stuff, and him talking about being in the Navy and whatnot, his time there. So I'm glad they're getting to know each other better, but I don't see them lasting long either, because it seems like he always playing devil's advocate when it comes to Eva. Like, he's always defending Eva all the time, and you could tell that it gets on Cat's nerve. But he always does that, even though he had a point. He did have a point. You can't say that girl's a murderer without hardcore proof. And why are you believing everything that's coming out of Leslie's mouth? Why? Just because Leslie says something, you gonna go believe it? You do realize the chick is cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Like, you can't believe every damn thing Leslie got to say. Like, she not all the way up there. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't take what she say for face value. Like, you just can't. So he was correct about that. But I just feel like their relationship, I don't trust it. He's a smooth talker. And I wouldn't be surprised if he was kind of using her for that Dupree Richardson connection that she has. You know what I'm saying? To boost his career. I wouldn't be surprised if he trying to play the long game with her. I do think he genuinely likes her, but he also could have another agenda too. I wouldn't put it past him. I'm just saying I wouldn't trust it. Not 100%. So Cat need to think about that one. But I think that's pretty much everything in this episode. Hit the comment section. Let me know what you all thought. And I will see you all later. Peace.